Mr. Greg Jones and Mr. Justin Wise. The selection of a class speaker for any graduating class is a tough decision, even more so for a class of 27 students. Because they were such a tight-knit group, any one of them could have represented their class. However, Greg Jones and Justin Wise were chosen because of their extraordinary academic support of their peers and their special ability to bring joy to their classmates and everyone they encountered. Additionally, they are strongly devoted to pursuing excellence in naturopathic medicine, making them fitting representatives for the ambitions and goals of their fellow classmates. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to present today's class of Fall 2018 speakers, Mr. Greg Jones and Mr. Justin Wise.
Ladies and okay, here we go.
First time.
Yeah, no, we should have practiced.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the class of 2018.
So first, I insisted that we start with an apology.
Because he's Canadian, they apologize a lot.
So while Greg could design the oven and I could cook the books, we just wanted to point out that our class, we love them, selected a former engineer and a former accountant to undertake a highly creative endeavor.
And based on our thorough research, and it was very thorough, we are the first class to have 2 student speakers on stage at the same time.
And then I crunched the numbers, and there's a strong possibility we may be the last.
Nonetheless, thank you to our classmates for choosing us to represent you today.
Also, thank you to everyone who came today, and thank you to those who would like to be here but could not.
So we tried to come up with an appropriate metaphor for our time at SCNM, and we also thought about the different naturopathic treatment modalities.
So first, we thought about homeopathy. It's our favorite, most difficult modality to explain. But then we realized it would be way too dilute and therefore way too powerful.
So, homeopathy joke for them. We also thought about botanical medicine, but there were way too many herbs to choose from. And we can only talk for a few seconds about our most favorite because they're way too low dose.
We also thought about nutrition because it's our bread and butter. But we know a lot of you have been told to avoid gluten and dairy.
So after all of that, we chose traditional Chinese medicine, also known as TCM. The 5-element theory outlines the relationship between the different elements in nature and the life force, or qi, as we know it, that flows through them. The basic elements are water, fire, metal, wood, and earth.
So each individual person is a blend of these elements. And in order to be truly healthy, they need to be balanced. Each step of our journey is a blend of these elements. And in order to truly serve our future patients, we need to ensure that they achieve balance.
We chose the TCM element water to represent our first year. In TCM, water is the organ system associated with the kidneys and the urinary bladder. Okay, we know water in the bladder makes sense. But wait, it'll get a little bit weird as we get through it. Also in TCM, water ultimately opens to the ears. We learn to listen not only to our professors, but also to our classmates and our family and our friends as they kept encouraging us as the days became more difficult.
We decided to start with water for our first year because we felt like we were face to face with a fire hose of knowledge on our first day.
Water reminded us of the tears that have streamed on those long nights where we contemplated, what have I got myself into?
Water was for taking all the supplements that we took all the time.
Water is also the taste associated with the element water. Salty is the feeling we experienced after getting our first biochemistry grades.
Water is also associated with fear, and the first year is full of that. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of missing out, the fear of a professor making us record a live-action portrayal of the muscle action potential. So on to year 2, and the year of fire, or in TCM terms, the year of the heart and small intestines. The heart opens to the tongue, and of course in year 2 we began to find our voices. Whether it was welcoming new students, taking on student leadership roles, or becoming more introspective and asking thought-provoking questions, or just being loud in general, our class definitely began to find its voice.
The taste associated with fire is bitter. The taste associated with studying 400 PowerPoint slides for a 25-question quiz can also be described as bitter. But I'm not bitter.
The second year is when we also confirmed that summer in Arizona really is that hot every year, because we're pretty sure the second summer was hotter than the first.
The heart is also associated with joy. Was there any greater joy than opening those envelopes after NPLEX 1 and seeing those P's that signified, yes, miracles do happen?
We passed boards.
So the lung and large intestine channels are represented by metal in TCM. Metal opens to the nose. During the first year in clinic, we became adept at learning how to sniff out a good research article, treatment protocol, or sage advice to aid us as we began seeing patients for the first time. Oh, there are new smells to be encountered as well, but that's another story for another speech.
The taste associated with metal is spicy. Spicy is probably the kindest way to describe what we would encounter if we dared to show up to a clinic shift unprepared.
They know. Yes, they know. We also became extremely familiar with metal in the form of needles for acupuncture, IVs, and injections. And we also probably still have "put the safety on that needle" playing and repeat in our heads.
Metal is also associated with worry, and worry we did as we prepared for our primary status exam while still seeing patients in the clinic and taking a full course load. Liver and gallbladder are represented by wood. The liver opens to the eyes, which is fitting, as in our fourth year we began to see how our medicine makes an impact on our patient's health. We developed a keen eye during our patient intakes and examinations, where before we were blind.
This has been the year where we have grown roots and blossomed as we have learned our strengths, weaknesses, and redefined where our passions lie.
Liver is associated with anger. We felt anger as our patients told us their stories, described their pain, and bared their exasperation with the feeling that they had nowhere else to turn. This anger has kept us late researching, pushing to learn more, and transformed itself into the passions that we carry into the future.
So as we continue our new journey as doctors, we chose earth as a TCM element. Spleen and stomach are represented by earth. See, told you, got weird. Earth is associated with the mouth, and now we must understand the power of our words. Our patients will come to us trusting that our recommendations, treatment plans, and referrals are appropriate and safe. We cannot take this responsibility lightly, not only for the sake of our profession, but for the sake of our patients and also for the future of our profession.
Just as we live on an earth that is constantly changing and evolving, so too must we. Today does not mark the end of our journey, but the beginning of a lifetime of learning and evolving.
The taste associated with earth is sweet, but not only is today sweet, but knowing that we'll be soon gainfully employed again is sugary and sweet, but not in a hyperglycemic way, in a, money, sweet,
Earth is associated with pensiveness and constantly thinking about what's going on. To our classmates, we know you're thinking about what the future holds, just as we are. But believe us, you're some of the most intelligent, kind, resourceful, and strong people we've ever met. You're going to be rock stars on this earth. We would now like to acknowledge the tremendous support we have received in our 4 years here. First, thank you to staff and facilities personnel for your tireless work and for keeping us between the lines.
Thank you to our clinical faculty and professors for sharing your wisdom, sacrificing your time, and exhibiting patience.
We know we can be annoying.
And thank you for not allowing us to cut a single corner.
To our forebears in naturopathic medicine, thank you for spending time in prison and in bankruptcy in the past so that we may practice our medicine in the future. We truly stand upon your shoulders.
To our friends, thank you for not abandoning us when it may have felt like we abandoned you.
To our families, thank you for making us smile when it seemed all was falling apart.
Thank you also for keeping us humble as you reminded us, you might be a big-time med student on campus, but those chores are waiting on you when you get home.
Thank you for giving us your shoulders to cry on.
We literally could not have made it without you. So in conclusion, we came here from different backgrounds, and we continue to embody that diversity. We are vegans, we are omnivores, we are keto masters. We are former tech writers, accountants, engineers, shout out to the engineers, nurses, veterans, and exercise gurus. We have lived and traveled all over the world, from Europe to Thailand to Africa to South America. We have lost loved ones. We've gotten married. We've been in each other's weddings. We are parents. We are loving husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles.
We are from the biggest cities and smallest towns, and we have roots in other countries. We are artists, musicians, and athletes. And I just wanted to emphasize that point, actually. I just want to make clear that during the talent show for these last 4 years, it was our class that owned it. So we're children of physicians, and we're the first physicians in our family. We're quiet, and we're also quite loud when we need to be. We're starting our first careers, and we're starting our next careers. We live in tiny houses, we live in large homes. We are loving pet owners, pet sitters, and we've been bitten by others' pets. We speak many languages, but we still don't know how we're supposed to pronounce mesenchymal.
Mesenchymal? So we came here as 27 strangers. We live here today as friends, colleagues, confidants, brothers and sisters. Who are we? Thank you.
Thank you.
Went okay?
Yeah.